Good. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Finance and Audit Committee meeting today on Wednesday, the 11th of March, 2026. Right. I'd like to start with just asking everyone if they can make sure their phones are either switched off or on aeroplane mode. Thank you very much. Just because they do interfere with the cameras and the microphones. Thank you very much. And I'll start with public participation. So if anyone from the public would like to speak, you can just, if you'd like to come to this microphone just there, and you have 3 minutes.
I'll do it as quick as I can. Yeah. Sorry. Good evening. My name is Nikki, and I am the Education and Event Coordinator for the Bexhill Primary Care Network, which I will refer to as the PCN. Thank you for inviting me to attend this evening meeting to discuss and support my grant application for our upcoming health and wellness event at the Delaware. I appreciate the opportunity to provide some additional context following points raised at the meeting on the 11th of Feb. Firstly, it was mentioned that the PCN was not present at that meeting to present our case. I would have welcomed the opportunity to attend, however I was unfortunately away, so I couldn't actually be here in person. There were also questions about the time frame for organising this year's event. Following the success of our event last May and the very positive feedback from both visitors and stall holders, we were keen to run the event again this year. However, as often is the case with NHS organisations, internal decision-making processes can take time. An agreement to proceed with the 26th event was only confirmed towards the end of last year. I'd also hope that our previous sponsor, Hastings Direct, who kindly covered the venue hire costs for the past 2 years, might be able to support us again. Unfortunately, they have indicated they may only be able to contribute between $1,000 and $1,500 this year. They're still to confirm. I've also approached a number of other local organisations, including Gabby Hardwick, Bexhill League of Friends, Bexhill Lions and Bexhill News, but unfortunately none have been able to offer sponsorship at this time. It was only through a separate conversation with one of your members on an unrelated matter that I became aware that I could apply for a grant through the Town Council, which explains the timing of my application. For context, this event has developed steadily over the past 4 years. The first event took place in September 22 in the lobby of the Delaware and focused on the PCN showcasing services available to our patients and the wider Bexhill community. The following year, we held a networking event at St Peter's Community Hall with 23 community organisations and over 100 attendees. This highlighted a clear need for a larger public-facing event where residents could meet the many local organisations supporting health and wellbeing. As a result, the PCN held its first full health and wellbeing event in May 24 in the Delaware Auditorium. The event was very well received and led to the decision to run it again the following year. Our May 25 event was even more successful, with 44 community organisations hosting stalls and more than 300 visitors attending. Feedback from both stall holders and the public was extremely positive, and the event was also featured in a supportive article in the Bexhill News. Another question raised was why the event needs to be held at the Delaware. While Bexhill does have other venues, the Delaware is the only local space capable of accommodating an event of this scale. It is also the most accessible venue in the area, with nearby car parking, close proximity to the railway station and several bus routes serving the location. The building itself is also well equipped to support visitors with accessibility needs. The Delaware also benefits from significant daily footfall. This allows us to reach people who may not otherwise actively seek out health and wellbeing services. Being able to welcome passers-by into a free event helps raise awareness of the wide range of support available locally, especially in these difficult times when it's increasingly challenging to access GP services. The event will go ahead this year. Around 65% of the community organisations invited to host a stall have already confirmed their attendance, and I will continue to work hard to secure further sponsorship. Having Bexhill Town Council as one of our sponsors would be a very positive demonstration of support for the health and wellbeing of the local community. The event is free to attend and provides a simple way for residents to connect with local community support services in one place. thank you again for the opportunity to bring this application.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll move on to 2, which is to receive apologies for absence, and that is Councillor Crotty and Councillor Rustem. Thank you. 3, to receive declarations of pecuniary and non-pecuniary interest.
Yeah,
Sorry, Councillor Peters.
Again, I'm working on projects with Bexhill PCN, so non-pecuniary interest.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 4 is Chair's announcements. There are none. And then the minutes, to approve the minutes of the meeting of Wednesday the 11th February 2026. Councillor Wood.
I just have one, and I haven't had a chance today.
Okay.
There's a piece in here that says that I declared an interest for one of the grants.
Which number, sorry?
Council on page 161, Councillor Wilson declared an interest in this application. I don't believe I did, because I have no connection with First Sidley Brownies. It doesn't affect the decision making, but I don't believe I declared an interest because I have no connection with them.
No, there was another one that you declared an interest to, wasn't there? I remember.
That was the previous month.
That was, right, okay.
It was.
Did you know someone there that was, I remember there was a link in.
I have connection with scouting movements, but I don't believe I've got any connection with Brownies. But I'm just noting that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to personally go and listen to the recording and feedback afterwards, but I don't believe I did.
Okay.
Can we believe that you, from my understanding, there was a declaration of knowing someone or something?
Yeah, I remember something like that as well.
Yeah.
There was the location that was mentioned within the application for
son-in-law
Bushy
or
Wood.
something like that?
Yeah.
It was Bushy Wood.
Definitely, definitely.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Sorry.
Thank you.
I remember
Apologies.
something like that.
My
Okay,
apologies.
thank you. So
Too much
can I have a
going on this
proposer for that? Sign then, please. And a seconder. Yeah, so Councillor Winter, Councillor L. And can I have a vote on that, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Right, so I will move to governance and accountability. To receive bank, I'll go by A, B, C, D, E. I won't do appendix because it gets confusing. So I'll start at A. Would anyone like to discuss anything on A? No? Will I move forward to B? Okay. Moving. Is that okay?
So I'm a bit confused. Are you saying B is Appendix C?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I was trying not to confuse it again.
I just wanted clarity.
Yeah, so it's 6A, 6B, I'm going to go down like that rather than actually in appendix.
Okay.
Unless, yeah. Yes, Councillor Wilson.
On Appendix C1, which is item B,
Yep,
on the third page,
yep,
Town Rangers motor vehicles,
yep.
I believe, I'd just like clarity on what's happening with the motor vehicles because I think we're a Town Ranger down. Do we still cover the costs of those lease charges?
I can ask that RFO, but I believe it's still being, do you mean are they still being used?
We had, I believe, 2 vehicles and leased a third.
No, 2 vehicles.
We only had one, I thought we had 2 to start with.
No.
Okay, so
No,
we've just
there
got
are
2
two,
vehicles
yeah.
and they're both being used. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. Thank you very much. So I'll move to C. That's the list we have. Any discussion? So that's Appendix D. Do we have Councillor Winter?
Just a simple question, hopefully, Chair, is what is the £150 payment to Eastbourne Borough Council? For that, I know it says Mayor's event, but
Okay.
what is it?
I can ask her.
Over the Mayor.
I could answer that if through you, Chair, if I may. It's the Mayor of Eastbourne's ball that I've been invited to, which is a week Friday.
Okay.
Comes out of the budget, and anything that comes out of Merrill's budget shows on here.
Yeah. Must be a gold-plated invoice.
Okay,
No,
thank you.
no.
I guess it's a mayor's ball, which would be, I think that would be about right, to be honest. And that's
That's
why
what
we
I-
didn't do it, I think, at the time, did we?
To-
So,
Depends on the mayor, I suppose.
Sorry, can I just say, Chair, that is what it is.
yeah.
That's why I've been very restrictive. I've only been to one in 2 years of being here.
Thank you. Councillor Peters?
Yeah, I've just got one question on ARC 1, £160 for rubbish. I don't know.
That's now, sorry,
Yes,
through
no.
your chat, sorry. That's now where obviously we have the rangers out doing stuff, and we obviously need a place for, and we need rubbish collection, because obviously we don't have a long-term contract with people like Biffa. Obviously potentially down the line that may well change, so we had to get a contractor in to organise how we do that, and we have somewhere in Sidley where the bin is located and it's collected by these people.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Well spotted, though. Maybe that's something we can discuss to make sure that if costs keep coming every month, then we do get contracts with that. So, Councillor Wilson?
I've just got a couple. I'm not sure what our lease says about repair of chattels within the hub, but I see there's a £276 for a toilet repair. Under contracts that I look after myself, the landlord's responsible for that type of stuff. So I'm not sure why we would be paying £276 for if the toilet's damaged.
Would that be commercial? 'Cause
I don't know.
In a commercial, it wouldn't.
It could be
it
different.
wouldn't- Yeah, in a commercial, I believe. Again, I have commercial properties, and we would not service the toilets in a commercial, but yes, in a residential,
Okay.
we would. So
Thank
I
you.
believe that would probably be the case.
It's wear
Yeah.
and tear.
Yeah.
We needed basically the ladies' system had completely broken and it needed fixing.
I don't have a problem with the value of
No.
it. It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarity.
As I said, because I do both, I know that usually.
I think you'll find it comes under our.
Yeah.
my second question is Zonky Solutions, a second payment for the website. I don't know whether I can ask it under finance, but the first one was probably 3 months ago. How close are we to having, and where are we?
I knew that question was going to come, so I already asked that question. And I believe Tom is in the testing period at the moment,
Okay, good.
and they're just testing the pages. He's learning how to upload stuff
Okay.
onto there, so it should be hopefully quite soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw that and I was like, I know what Councillor Wilson's going to ask. Any other questions?
I'm too obvious, aren't I?
No. Can I move forward or? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move to Appendix E. Any questions on Appendix E? There is one thing, Councillor Wilson, I'll say, there's another 100,000 gone into the bank, the interest.
Into the thingy.
The interest funds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that now will be 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the end of, sorry, can I?
Yeah.
By the end of March, it will be 600, which is what was resolved at the last finance meeting.
I was going to ask this question related to that earlier, but I didn't. Is the interest payable upon when the deposits go in, or at a certain date in the year?
At the end of every month.
End of every month. So we should start seeing.
Well, the beginning of the next month. So
Okay.
we've had one lot in, which was from when we first put it in,
Yeah.
and we got about 700. So then at the beginning of this month, we'll get more
should
because we've got more.
start
Yeah, it
seeing
should
that.
start going up.
Brilliant.
Which is good.
Good news.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm going to move on to... this is to approve standing orders. So we did have a meeting this week to discuss this with myself, Councillor Brago, Councillor Crotty. Some of the councillors couldn't make it, so the meeting didn't go ahead. What I propose is, if you'd like, we can either rearrange that meeting, or our RFO can send out to all of us the documents. We can have a look, as long as we come back by the next meeting and let her know if there are any changes that we'd like on there, and then if there aren't, then it can go to full council in end of April. So then
End of May, it has
Yeah.
to go yearly at May.
so it has to go in May, but if we can get it to full council to be agreed for April. So would we be happy to do that? And I'll go to Councillor Brakegrove.
I like option B of sending it out to everybody so everyone can have a look at it and a say in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Councillor Wilson?
I spent 2 hours of my time going through reviewing them all myself this morning
I've had a
for
look
my
as
own
well. There's
peace
not
of mind. There isn't actually that many things.
No.
There's just a few changes in our operational stuff. Scheme of delegation and some other bits and pieces. There are some quite crucial things in there that I personally wasn't aware of until I reread it, which says that any council should, on reserves, and that can be general or earmarked, have between 1/3 and 2/3 of the precept.
That's going to come in later on in the meeting, so that's already Michelle's set up. Sorry, our RFO has already set that up for us.
So I'll just type this up and send it
So
off.
are we happy that it's sent out to everyone? Okay, so Councillor Blagrave has proposed that. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Winter?
Can I put a counter proposal or a second proposal? I think that this should be not penciled in but written in for an annual review, because that's what should have happened last year and we didn't do it. It should be annually, and we're going to get round to the same time this time next year, set up a meeting. Some councillors not able to go to that meeting, and then we're going to go through this old rigmarole again. There should be a date in the calendar sometime during the month of February, so there's time for these policies to be
Could we have
reviewed.
that as a motion for next meeting? Would that be okay?
Next meeting or now?
Yeah, or a motion now, yeah, I have to do that. So can I just take the vote on Councillor Winter?
Do we need that? Because it is already in the internal controls of the council that in February we review all of these documents already.
But we didn't.
We don't then need a date when we've already got a date.
Why don't we just make sure that when we have the February finance meeting, all of you review the standing orders, financial regs and terms of reference?
Yes.
That would resolve having to do working groups, and if you have it as an agenda item, it's there to be discussed.
Yeah.
And you will get the documents sent out to you prior to that meeting with a week in advance.
Yeah.
So can I go with the proposal from Councillor Blagrave? Yeah. Okay. And we've got Councillor Winter seconding that.
Yeah.
Could I have a vote on that, please? Thank you. That's carried. Thank you very much. To review and approve the data audit for assertion 10 compliancy. So, does anyone have any questions on this? Councillor Wilson?
Thank you, Chair. I think there's just one thing we maybe need to think about, which is the content on our social media. So when content is out there, this is covered, but it doesn't explain if a resident comments or a councillor comments on the post that's gone out, how that data is audited, if it is at all. Because it is data that is stored somewhere. I've looked at the data process a bit and it covers a website, but it doesn't cover our social media side of it. And there have been quite a few that have passed comments in the past, and I don't know what happens with that data. It probably goes up into this cloud thing or something, which I don't understand.
We have the website hosting.
It has a website.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything around social media. So on our Facebook or Instagram or whatever, other social media platforms.
You're going to have to defer it then to next
Should we
month.
defer it? So I'll defer that for next month. Maybe you could email in something to our RFO. So,
I can do.
Yeah.
I don't want to, if the auditor came around and sees that and does pick it up, I don't know whether we're exposed for or not.
Looking at the other councils that I've looked at with the data audit report, it doesn't appear in it, but because obviously it's how much information is on there.
Yes. You
But
have the
obviously
person's name.
this is the only thing that we would not be compliant with assertion 10. So we've carried out the data audit, which means we're now compliant. But I can look at it and bring it back to April.
I would prefer, and it's still before
just have it checked.
the next meeting, just to
It's
clarify.
a good point to point out. Yeah.
But other than that, is the council, are you
I think
okay with
everything
it?
else.
And obviously the new website will mean that we're completely fully accessible with the content on there.
I think, if there are any others, then, questions on there.
If I can, I'm more than okay with it. I think it's an impressive document. I just would like clarity on social
Okay.
care. Thank you.
Councillor Allen?
Moving to the side of this a little bit, but talking about the website, I know it's not the right time, just a quick question if possible. We were talking about having access point on the website for anyone to put in any issues or troubles they may have with town rangers or anything that they want fixed, a bit like Fix My Road, is it called?
Yeah.
Is that something that's going to be?
Yeah, we're going to have a report something. I can't think what Tom called it, but yeah, there's going to be somewhere that can be logged. It's going to have a lot of additional things with things like grant applications will be accessible to fill out online and stuff.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, Chair. I did have one other question.
Yeah.
Under security measure, paper files stored in locked cabinet, locked room. Is it just one set of keys?
That is being looked into.
Okay.
So I believe we're looking at having two people to access that room at the same time. So it's
Okay.
just, we're looking
For security measures, because if it's just one person
Yeah.
and they leave keys at home or out of the country or something, and you need something urgently.
As in the lock cabinets that we've got,
Yeah.
as in filing cabinets.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are left. There's a couple of keys. One is in a key safe, so
Okay.
that they're accessible.
Okay. So keys.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I move on? Yeah. Thank you very much. So I'll move to G, which is actually Appendix G as well, which works well. So that has everyone had a look at this? I believe what's been updated on there are the toilets in Devonshire Square and Town Rangers have been added to the back of that, and everything else is the same. So do it, Councillor Wilson.
Sorry, just for consistency, on the second page, could we replace parish with town council? Because in all our other documents we call ourselves a town council, and then we're calling ourselves
Where's
a
that
parish
on the-
council.
Oh, is it on here? Okay, that's a typo.
Oh,
It's on
okay,
mine.
sorry. Oh, we're on.
This is the overriding document.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Blakegrove?
Something to do with risk, which is what I've wanted to say for a long time. I keep forgetting it. Is when we sit at council, our doors are open for anybody to walk in, and you can't do that at RDC, for instance. You've got to get past the security, and really we're just sitting here and we couldn't stop anyone coming through that door. They'd be in there before you knew about it. So I'd like to see what we can do about that, please. Or if anyone else thinks that that's a valid point.
It probably is, but we did have the option of trying to go to the chambers, and I think people turned it down because of price. But if we then started, this is just my personal view, if we started looking at security, we'd then probably need a security guard. Maybe if we lock the front door.
Yeah, something simple
we could
like
look
that.
into it. Yeah, we could look into it. Councillor Wilson?
I tend to believe that that is a risk to all of us, and I would like to add another risk, which is any one councillor meeting a member of the public on their own. Particularly if you're having surgeries. I think there's a real risk in today's society, and this triggered my mind back to an event that happened in London Road, where a district councillor was visiting a resident. An hour and a half later, that resident's partner assaulted her and she died. And if the person had turned up an hour and a half earlier, that councillor had been in that room. And that puts any single town councillor at a risk. And I don't think that any councillor should meet a member of the public on their own. Or if they do, it should be on the risk register that if you do that at your own risk.
I think that would be something that we'd have to put to full council. That's quite a big...
It's the same as Councillor Blakegrove, if that's the case that the security of us here, it's for full council as well as committees. I think it's getting to the stage these days, Chair, in society that I don't think anyone is... I think it's quite dangerous out there. We've seen at MP level, MPs getting assaulted and killed. You get it at county level on a regular basis.
Yeah.
They will only meet residents if they've got a steward with them. You get it. There's now an order at district that you're not allowed to meet a resident in their property on your own. And yet we have our doors open, we are here. So I'm agreeing with Councillor Blagrove
Yeah.
that we are all at risk to not just verbal or written, but physical assaults these days. And we need to protect ourselves. We've protected our staff. We've got things in place in the hub to protect them, but there isn't anything here.
Yeah, councillors at risk. We have it in there. Councillors are at risk at the surgeries and public events.
Removed from danger, do not engage in arguments.
What number?
So it is in there.
54,
I read all
on the
this today.
second page.
Report
Thank
all
you.
concerns members of the public want to be taken into staff offices or back rooms.
I
Yeah.
mean, can I just reply to Councillor Blagrove's
Yes,
query?
of course.
Obviously, it's very. I get what you're saying in the easy access to this building. However, council meetings are public, and I don't know how it would work if we lock the front door when it's a public meeting, and we do have members of the public that do tend to turn up late. And we're saying that it's transparent and public. We can put it down as a risk. Obviously, we can add that to the risk register, but I don't know about whether locking doors is possible.
Could we have something like to make the public aware that if they're coming to the meeting, a cut-off time that they should appear by for security reasons?
I can investigate.
Thank you.
Councillor Peters?
Yeah, now that we've got the ID cards, I did mention a couple of months ago that they possibly should be put on the risk register. I don't know whether you looked into that or not.
What's that? The
Well, the risk, if you lose the ID card, obviously there's a risk you might lose it.
Yeah. Noted. Then Councillor Wilson?
I'm sorry, Chair.
That's all right.
Item 10 on the risk register relates to DSE, but do we have to legally do DSE assessments when staff are working from home? Because all the DSE assessments that we currently do are in our hub, in our office space, which we can control, but technically if they're working from home, which we have a lot of our staff currently working from home, they could injure themselves if they're not sitting correctly in front of, and I'm not sure whether that's covered by DSE. Just flagging it.
I wouldn't know either.
We have a document that is signed by members of staff for working from home
Okay.
for that purpose.
So we are legally covered under
Yeah.
the DSE. Okay, thank you. Should that be on here to cover ourselves?
It can possibly be added.
I think it should be, because otherwise somebody else might ask exactly the same question.
Okay.
You can just add it
Work from
into.
home, yeah.
So just add it into something.
Yeah, can I get into item 10?
Document signed, yeah. Okay. Councillor Wilson?
I've been busy today, Chair. There are some items on here that have been completed. Should they be removed, and should we have a second document to say risks that are now not a risk? Item 26 is one. I'm not sure item 27 is now a risk.
I wouldn't, just because this is for the office.
Yeah. It was a risk, but it's not now.
Okay. Yep, we can update that. 26.
Can I just say that this document is the same as it was last year, and that was still on it. So, I mean, I don't know whether... I just haven't had the time to go through all of that and start removing stuff. I just added stuff that I felt was necessary at the time.
Okay, thank you.
And finally, if I may,
Yeah.
item 51, we should add in IT cyber security process. And councillors making inaccurate statements. That's covered in there. So we now have a policy. Item 51.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just that that's happened since this is probably... I don't have anything else to say, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Councillor Winter.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Do we really need a document of actions completed? I feel like it's just another thing.
I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I just think we're going to leave it in there.
Yeah, that's fine, because I was just picking up on Councillor Wilson's point of
Yeah.
what he said, so that's fine.
Okay. So I think that's everything on there. I think your point, Councillor Wilson and Councillor Burgos, maybe could come back to full council, as it seemed. I think that would be a good discussion to have, just to see going forward
I think
what
you're
we need to do. As long as we're telling the councillors not to go and have one-to-ones, if they do, then that's up to them. But as long as it's there to sort of have that discussion of don't because of the risks, and then that's up to them what they do. But, yeah. Okay. So can I get?
Am I doing the adjustments? I mean, at the end of the day, these policies will all go to full council in May,
Yeah.
so they'll see this
Yeah.
with the adjustments.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do the adjustments and resend it out as part of the minutes,
Are you happy to approve it
or do you want
today,
to defer
or
it to next month?
Should we defer it to next
Mhm.
month, and then we can then have a look and just approve it next month if that's okay? Yeah. Okay. So we're deferring that. Reserve policy. Does anyone?
You've got the investment policy.
Sorry, investment policy. Sorry, yes. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on that at all? No, this one. Yeah. Yeah.
If we're going to
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, so I believe there's an update on was there an update on that? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that right then? So it's going to be
It's going to be 600.
600, okay.
Sorry, yeah.
So 8 will be 600. And then are there any other questions? There may be one, I think, but we'll see if that. Any other questions on that? On Appendix H? No? Councillor Wilson?
I've just got the question. The crosses at the top. When was it adopted, or is it for us to adopt it tonight, or to be adopted at full council?
I have a feeling it was adopted before, but I've just, but I'm not sure.
Normally, underneath you have when it was adopted and when it's
Yeah.
been reviewed, but there isn't anything on it. Anyone remember?
Okay, so it could be that
Off the top of my head.
I think it was
I
one of
think-
the things maybe Julie asked me to
Yeah, I
do when I
think
first started.
A new one. But yeah, I don't remember agreeing it in the last 5 minutes.
I tend to agree, Chair, with Councillor Winter that we haven't had this before, so that date would
I
then
can't
become
remember
full
it in
council
last,
date.
yeah, in last
Okay.
meeting, so we can actually put on there 2026 when it's adopted today. Oh, so have to go to full council first before
It can be adopted here.
yeah.
Sorry.
We have Councillor Bragrove.
Sorry, I'm just looking for the list of all the grants amounts.
Not quite there yet, but that is. Are we happy with that? Can I move on to I, Appendix I?
Are we adopting this tonight, Chair,
I'd be happy to say we adopt it tonight, yeah.
with the amendment of 600,000 under 8?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll get a. Do you want to just that first? Okay. So can I have a proposal for that? Councillor Wilson, seconder. Councillor Winter, and a vote please for H. Yep. Thank you. Anyone against? Anyone abstaining?
No.
No. Okay. That's right. So this is brand new, just been told, so well, I hadn't actually, I was told earlier. This is brand new, this is something that our RFOs made for us basically, or set up, and does anyone have any questions on that? No? Councillor Wilson?
I think this is very good, I really do. I am a little confused. SIL sits in earmarked reserves or general reserves?
Sits in general. Well, it depends. It sits in earmarked where it's located as SIL,
Yeah.
and then when you look at the previous statement that you agreed earlier on this evening, you'll
Yeah.
see that SIL sits in there.
So
So then the balance, whatever isn't SIL, will sit in general.
that's what's confusing me, is the SIL money that we have isn't precept or budget, it's something else. And the 3 or 6 months relates to precept, so we should exclude SIL from the money that we've got.
Yes, so
Is that
basically, I've looked at where the general reserve needs to sit, and when you looked at the earlier document with the reserves, where you've got earmarked underneath it, which shows where SIL sits, and you're showing a general reserve as of the 28th of February as 445,000, which against the 3 to 6 months general reserve requirement, as per this contract, as per the policy, we are within. Next year, we will be at the low end of the spectrum if we stay in 400, because obviously our requirement will be between 402 and 805. So yeah, whatever we ring fence in an earmark reserve is not general.
No.
So when you look at that list I gave you earlier,
So SIL doesn't count.
no.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify.
If you way too easier to look at it is that report that I gave you earlier showing the earmark reserves and the balance sheet. You'll see 445 as general.
Yeah.
And then everything that we earmark, so whether it's SIL or Pebsham, is separate from that.
Okay, are we happy?
So roughly on my basic figures, we've got to get, by the end, this time next year, we've got to end up with another £400,000 in general reserves.
I'm sure it's going to be a lot more, but yes.
How are we going to do that when we've agreed our budget and precept already? Not spend something. To adhere to the rules and regulations, we've got to not spend something at £400,000 to adhere to that.
Yes.
Through the auditor would expect you to have a plan. If as long as we sit within 3 months, so if we sit next year as 400, like we basically are now, and you have a plan, and when we do the budget for 27-28, and we've obviously highlighted that obviously because we didn't know when we set the budget for January what our general reserves would be at the end of the financial year. No. So what we need to do is put together a plan when we do the budget this year of how we're going to increase that general reserve. And at the moment we put in about 50,000 into a general reserve budget to move into that. We may have to review that as well. You guys will have to review that as part of the finance committee of how we increase that, and obviously that will have an implication to the precept. But to be a prudent council, you need to be looking at these figures, and that's what you're going to need to work towards as a council. Just being realistic. Lots of other councils have these reserve policies, and these are general audit guidelines that they would expect you to look at, be doing and planning for going forward.
So if there's a plan, sorry Chair, through you, if there's a plan in place of potentially increasing that general reserve contribution to say 150,000, then you would be able to say we're increasing that general reserve by £100,000 more over the next 3-4 years. So that will cost taxpayers probably another £100,000 a year plus, because our precept is going up. Okay. It's really
just
important.
On top, it's the percentage that it goes up. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Okay. Not 100%. No. Okay, thank you. So, can I do any other questions on that? No? Can I have a proposer for that one, please? Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Seconder, Councillor Blagrove, and a vote, please, for that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Right.
Could I just add, Chair, we're coming up to voting. Finance is going to be very complicated from now on. Up until now, it's just been a tick box. We're going to have to understand these rules a lot more clearly.
Yeah. Sorry, and got a bit carried away. Can I have a proposer for A to E, please? Councillor Winter, seconder please for that.
A to E on?
6A to E. Sorry, forget appendixes. 6A to E.
I thought we'd got rid of E.
Well, A to D, sorry, E's being deferred. So
okay, sorry, A to D. Sorry, A to D. Can I have a, okay, Councillor Winter. Seconder, Councillor L. Could I have a vote on that, please?
So I'm still writing what I've got to do.
Thank you very much. Yeah, carried. Thank you. Right, so now we're moving on to 7A, Appendix J. And they are, front of the sea. Grants. We have £7,636.81 left to spend. So, and we have grants today for £38,700. Or we've been asked for £38,700. So, would anyone like to speak on this? Councillor Braygrove.
Okay, first of all to Nikki, thank you very much for coming back to us today. In the council we have tried to, give out money to people that need help, and so far I think we haven't done too bad at it. Our problem has always been that people want big grants in some cases, and we don't have big money. So as you can hear, Councillor Hussain has just said to us that we've got £38,700 worth of grants being asked for this evening and £7,636 to pay them with. So this tells you straight away that that can't happen. We can't get any more money than that, and we're coming up to the end of this financial year. So much as it is disappointing, it's also quite obvious when you look at the figures and the money that we've got to spend and play with, that we cannot facilitate that grant. I'm not saying that we can't facilitate all of it, but we do have 6 grants that we have, we're going to try and help this evening. So we just can't do any magic. We know already that your company is good, that your paperwork has been fine. We understand that you are what you're trying to do, and we would ask you to understand our plight, because quite simply it can't be done. I would like to propose that we can pay £1,000 of that. Not because we want to do that, because we'd like to pay all of it, but we can't, and it's as simple as that. So I hope you understand that, and still thank you for coming back. In the future, it's always worth putting your grants in.
Obviously we have to go to a vote on that, so that's...
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Is this generally are you speaking for all of these grants?
Yeah, I would suggest, because for anybody that doesn't know, so I'm going to read them. So first of all, we've got £5,000 for the Bexhill Primary Care Network. We've got £1,000 for the Bexhill Community Bus. Bexhill Cricket Club, £10,000. Bexhill Down Ladies Group, £500 for their lunch. Heart of Sidley Summer Festival, £12,200. And Heart of Sidley again, new hub launch event, £10,000. So I would propose that all of them that are more than £500 can be given £1,000 this evening. And the ladies' lunch, I think it's only fair that we come down a bit on that as well. At £250 is what I would be proposing for that one. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll go around the room.
Yeah, sure.
Councillor L.
I would just, obviously it's going to be a point we'll be speaking about in a bit, but I would just like to remind the room and the public and my fellow councillors that we do have a policy in place in which anything over £1,000 and up to £10,000 will only be considered in the months of January, May and September. We are trying our utmost to adhere to policy.
Sorry, can I just... the 10,000 is for January, May and September.
Between 1 and 10, so anything
Between
1 and
yes,
below.
sorry.
Yeah. So between 1 and 10 is January, May and September, and we're trying our best to adhere to all of our policies, not just our grant policies. And it makes it very difficult for us to do that when we try and change numbers in between. We today have 1, 2, 3, 4 policies which are over £1,000, 3 of them being £10,000 and over. So we just have to remind ourselves, with £7,636 left to spend, what our policy is.
Thank you.
And
And you
if
said
we're willing
that
to
at last
adhere-
meeting as well, so, yeah. Councillor Wilson?
I'm trying to do what's right and covers more people that will benefit from things in Bexhill. I think we should remember that the grant funding for each financial year of £42,000 was designated as £24,000 for events and £18,000 for other projects. And very quickly going down the list of what we've given out so far, we've actually only supported.
Can I just say that is from April though, not from now?
But that was the general principle that we were working to all last year.
No,
One of all that's
that's this the year that's coming. That starts on the 1st of April.
with the new policy.
That's not from
Okay.
last year.
So I would like to look at this slightly differently, and rather than merging them all into one and just making a general decision about them, accepting that the policy says £1,000 maximum, I think it can be clouded because they've all got different, and I think Bexhill Primary Care Network, I've been to their last 2 events and it's an exceptional event, and you can't recognise the benefit that that provides for residents within Bexhill. It's a growth area. We are known for having a lot of people that are aged. We know of the issues with already one surgery shutting, another surgery will be closing at the end of March, I believe. So there is a lot of other methods of support that will be needed for people within Bexhill. I know I like to sort of bend the rules a little bit. Some of the others are, but I hope that we can find a way of, and we are able to go into general reserves, all bearing in mind what I said about future general reserves having to be increased. We have done that on a regular basis, and I think I've heard what Nikki said, that it will go ahead, but I think it would be right thing to do to have Bexhill Town Council front and centre being one of the major sponsors of that event, because they are our residents. There were 300 odd that were there. I'm surprised there weren't more because it was pretty busy when I went, and it will grow because it has footfall during the day. So I would like to find a way of potentially closing the standing orders and asking Nikki how much it would cost to be the major sponsor of that event. We've done it before with Carnival, we've done it before with other things. We are sitting on £3,000 that was meant to be spent on 18 hours. I'm not sure that's in earmarked reserves or not, that didn't happen. So I'm wondering if there's some tweaking out of all of them. The Bexhill Primary Care Network will impact everybody else that's within all the other events underneath. Either be it a mother, a grandmother or grandfather or child, they will all be impacted by what our Bexhill Primary Care Network do. So I'd like to find a way of...
I think the problem is we've said this many times, is there's lots of organisations out there, and if we keep bending the rules, because we have previously done this many times where we say we've just bend the rules for this, and then we say just this one time, and then we do it again and again, and we've tried to stick to those rules for the last few months, and especially with our new policy coming out. So I will ask councillors to speak as well, but I understand where you're coming from, and we've said this many times, there's so many organisations out there that we would love to help, but we have to stick to our policy, otherwise it's going to be one organisation and then we'll do it for another organisation, and as we've seen, it's never ending, I'm afraid, and we'd love to help every single organisation, but it's just not possible. As we can see, £38,700 asked for tonight, and we have 7,600. And that's tonight, and it happens every month. The same, we have the same situation. I think last time I worked it out, we said we'd have to have, if we helped every time, we would be looking at between £400,000 and £500,000 a year to be able to help, and it would probably increase after that as well. So
completely accept what you're saying, just standing around.
If that's okay. I'm not allowed to ask them.
I wasn't
Sorry.
sure.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Councillor Winter.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. A lot of what I was just about to say, you've just actually said. But yeah, we do have obviously a policy, as Councillor L previously said, you know, and we all want to help everybody in every organisation, but unfortunately we can't. You know, there are limitations as described, and it does put us, because we're all morally decent people, and these are all morally decent organisations and events that, you know, are going to, or hopefully going to take place. But it's morally wrong to bend the rules when there are rules in place. Otherwise, what's the point of having rules if you're just going to not follow those rules? And I think, you know, there isn't, personally for me, there isn't one organisation that's listed here tonight that I think, oh, do you know what, they are much better or they're much more deserving than any one. They all do brilliant things for all different sectors of Bexhill. They all bring different things, they all bring in different characters from across the town, and they provide positivity up and down the town. So there isn't one that I think needs talking about. I think the fairest way to do it is, as Councillor Blagrove described earlier, and that's, you know, give them something. Let's not give them nothing. We have got a little bit left before the end of the financial year, so let's give them something. And yeah, like Councillor Blagrove,
Okay.
you know, give them £1,000.
I'm going to take Councillor Blagrove's, then we're going to take your proposal, see if we can get a second after you've spoken. If that's
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because it needs being said as many times as possible so that it actually does sink in. We make these policies ourselves, and we cannot break our own policies for any reason at all. I am never ever going to agree that we, you know, we've got our budget, 42,000, that we then use money from the reserves to give to people to run events. I'm sorry about that. It can't happen. That is not right, and it's not fair on us, because we do sit here, we do go round and round the same way on every meeting, and it will stop when the new policy comes in and people read the policy properly and understand, because some people are asking us for money without understanding how much money we've got, and that's obviously a problem. You know, everyone's going to ask for what they want, but in the interest of being fair, let's stick to our policies. Let's never go into the reserves and go above what we've got. That would be bad budgeting for a start. Like Councillor Winter has said, everybody is good, everybody has come to us, they've all got their things that they do, one is not better than the other. You know, there are a lot of sad stories around these days, businesses, you know, that can't manage, community groups can't manage, and there is really nothing we can do about it, but as was said earlier, something better than nothing, and we hope that everybody understands our plight as well. Thank you.
Councillor L, and I want to go to a vote, please. That's okay.
As my motion in a moment will show as well, maybe that will be something that will stop these grants coming through. It will take us out of a position where, because we do feel guilt and we do feel upset that we can't do it, so it will remove that burden from us as well to have to even talk about this, because it is unfair. It's unfair to say no sometimes, but we do have to follow policy, which brings me to my proposal, following Councillor Blagrove's proposal. Maybe we could look at what actually our policy does cover tonight, so the two required amounts that are £1,000 and under, and then I believe it's our last month anyway for giving out funds, isn't it? This 7,000 we can use tonight, can't we? It resets next month, am I correct?
That's right, yeah.
So we can look at the two that are actually covered by the policy, which were £1,000 and £500, and then we can see what we can do with the rest after that, with the remaining organisations.
Councillor Peters, now I do want to go to
Yeah, just with the Heart of Sidley, the new hub launch event isn't going to be until, I believe, September now. So we're going to be doing them a disservice by giving them £1,000 now, when we can push them to the May meeting and possibly they can get more. I don't know. Just a suggestion.
That can be a suggestion.
Sorry. This is where the policy is running side by side at the moment, are causing so much confusion. January, May and September will no longer be a thing. You will have quarterly finance meeting, potentially, and you will be looking at it 4 times a year instead of every 12 months, depending on the meeting schedule. The January, May, September £10,000 limit will no longer be there. It'll be gone. In the new
Exactly.
policy, it's not there.
When would the next one be then, if you look at the new policy? The next meeting where we talk about
Well, you've got them all the way up to May at the moment.
after May.
After May, if the meeting schedule is agreed by the full council in May and the finance committee meet quarterly, you won't have another meeting until July.
Still in time.
But just bear in mind that the policy you're working with at the moment, tonight, small grants in your policy is up to the maximum limit for tonight is £1,000.
But it finishes tonight, it resets next
It
month.
resets in April, yes.
But next meeting it'll be reset.
This
But
one
we
will
won't
carry
have-
We
until...
won't have any.
Yeah.
We won't have any you won't have any grants in the next meetings until July,
Until July.
basically. So no one can apply until July. Okay? Is that
No.
correct? Sorry.
You've got April and May finance meetings, which will happen, and grants can be discussed, but they will be under the new policy, not the current policy, because the new policy is coming in April.
So his 7,000 is tonight.
Okay.
Yes, but the
Yes.
maximum in your policy
Yeah,
at the
is
present
1,000.
is 1,000.
Yeah.
Can I just raise a point of order? Something Councillor Blagrove said, because it's on film, that it's not going to happen that we break a policy. The policy is in place only until next year, when there will be an election, be a new set of potential councillors. We can go up to over £400,000 in our grants as per the rules and regulations. So we have to be very mindful. We cannot say it won't happen. It won't happen for the next 12 months, but it could happen after that, subject to changes.
It could. I mean, we are one of the, I think we checked that before, didn't we? Are one of the highest grant town
Giving
councils out there, paying grant town council. When we compared other town councils, I think we were like the
Proportionately to the-
second highest.
Yeah.
Proportionately
town
to the
council.
number of
Yeah.
residents, but we're slipping behind what Lewis are of increased
But we
sales.
couldn't increase, but yeah, I
I'm just
understand.
saying,
Yeah, I understand where you're
under a
coming
point of order, we
But-
can't say it won't happen because it legally can.
from. Okay. So I'm going to go to a vote, if that's okay, or I'm going to come back to Councillor Blagrave's proposal, which was £1,000 for everyone, and then Bexhill-on-Sea Ladies Group 250.
250.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So can I have a seconder on that, please?
I did not counter, but I did add my proposal to that as well, Chair.
Your proposal was to split.
Was to look at the requirements that are actually adhering to policy, which is Bexhill Community Bus and Bexhill-on-Sea Ladies. See what we're going to do about theirs, and then move over to the four that are over £1,000, which don't
Okay.
adhere to policy this year.
Okay, I'm happy to do that if that's okay.
I'd second that proposal, because then we're talking about what we can actually agree tonight.
Okay, so we're happy to give Bexhill Community Bus the £1,000.
No, talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about
them
Bexhill.
two first, and then move.
Okay, I mean I'm happy with that. Can we talk about Bexhill Community Bus then? Do we have any comments on that? Councillor Winter.
I'd like to give them the £1,000, please.
Thank you.
Second that, yeah, second that.
Okay. Can I have a vote on that, please? Anyone against?
Lovely.
Anyone abstaining?
This is how the meeting should look.
Okay, thank you. And then we will go to Bexhill-on-Sea Ladies Group. Councillor Winter.
You just said something, and you're right. This is how the meeting should go, because what people don't understand sometimes is we have read about these, we've seen what's going on, we know what we want to do, we know why. We're not just making
just get it done,
putting our hands up.
yeah.
We want to just get it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Councillor Winter, you're
I'd like to approve the £500, please.
Okay. Do I have a seconder on that? Councillor
Can I
Al?
put a counter proposal?
Yes.
So, I'm going to say a little bit. If every organisation...
Is this about Bexhill-on-Sea Ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
If every single organisation came to us to say, can we have £500 for their Christmas do? I don't think we should give them any money. I'm sorry, I'm
Councillor Winter.
I think I said this in the previous meeting, that we can't say no on the basis that they've just asked for money for a Christmas lunch. That is why we are councillors. We sit round and we make a majority decision. But if we agree £500 for the Bexhill-on-Sea Ladies Group for their Christmas lunch, it doesn't mean that any other group in the future that applies is automatically going to get their Christmas lunch, Halloween lunch or dinner or whatever we're going to call it. Depends who is sitting around the table and what they've applied for, what documentation they've provided. It's not setting a precedent, it's just they've applied, we can see what we've got in front of us, we've spent a long time studying what they've applied for, let's make the decision. That's not saying, right, everyone, you know, you could look at anyone that's applied. I mean, Heart of Sidley have had £5,000 this year, so what, we're not going to give them their two lots of money that they've applied for? It's not setting a precedent. It's down to all of us as individuals with our own minds to go, what do we think?
Okay, thank you. Councillor Blagrove?
Thank you. I'm back to 250 again, and my main reason is that if I didn't have much money and I had to get a little loan off someone to take some people out to Christmas dinner, it wouldn't be at the Highwoods Golf Club for a start. They're very good and they're very lovely. They're very expensive as well compared to other places. I believe at the last count there were 52 eating places in this town. So to me, rather than give them nothing, I would give them 50% of what they've asked for, which is £250. I don't agree to give them everything they've asked for to go out to dinner. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So we've had the discussion. Councillor Winter, you're still proposing your £500?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and that's seconded by Councillor L. So could I have a vote on that, please? Okay, two. That's 4. 2, 4. And then anyone against, please? Okay, so would we like to discuss Councillor Blagrove's £250? Would you like to propose that, Councillor Blagrove?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, a point of order.
Yeah.
If we discuss the 250 and that goes through, that discounts my zero. So shouldn't we discuss the zero first before we discuss the 250?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, Chair,
Okay.
it was 3 against 2 in the vote. Did you cast a vote on that one?
2,
2,
4.
3. 2, 4, 3 against.
Yeah.
Your vote?
My vote's against.
4. So 4 against.
Four against.
Sorry. Yes. It was 4. I did it. Sorry. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And then. Yes, you are right.
Otherwise, we get in the same
Yeah.
situation as what we got to in
So,
the budget discussion about
Can we go for
orders.
Councillor Wilson's motion of not giving any money, basically? Do I have a second on that, please? Councillor Peters seconding it. Can I have a vote on that, please? 4. We've got. And then against. So 4 against. Okay, thank you. Now going to Councillor Blagrove's. So that is £250. Yes.
Yeah.
Seconded by Councillor Winter. And can I have a vote for the £250, please? Okay. 4. And against.
Okay.
Thank you. So that's a vote for the 250. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So now we can discuss Bexhill Primary Care and Bexhill Cricket Club, Heart of Sidley Summer Festival and Heart of Sidley New Hub launch event. Would we like to discuss them singularly, or would you like to discuss
We
them
have
as...
how much left, is that enough?
So we've just done 1,250.
6,386.81.
So we have 6,386, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 organisations left. So, Councillor Blagrove.
As I said earlier, I'm keen to give them all £1,000 and leave a little bit with us. It's not going to run away. We're going to need that. You can see how many people are looking for money, and it won't be any different next time. So I'm not keen to just divvy up what is left and give that out like that. I think £1,000 to each association would be good.
I would also like to just remind everyone that we have 15 minutes ago spoken about not breaking
The £1,000.
And now we're going to break it.
and now so let's not maybe, well, it's up to you, but it's up to you obviously, but we did just speak about that, so I know what was coming from that. We're probably going to say let's divide it up to the 4 for the 6, completely up to everyone here, but I will just like to remind you that we have said that we're not going to break our policy. So Councillor L.
Can I just ask, with the grants money, if anything is left from one financial year, is that added to the grants money the next financial year, or does that move over to reserves and the 42,000 continues?
Yeah.
General
Yes.
reserve.
Doesn't
Yes,
get
to-
added to the 42.
Doesn't get added.
Okay. Councillor Winter?
I'd like to go with Councillor Blagrove's proposal, £1,000.
Yeah. Okay. Councillor Wilson?
Can you just clarify, Chair, do we have any more finance meetings before the new policy?
What that comes out.
So the new policy comes out on the 1st of April, so that's when it starts.
Okay.
But we do have, so where it becomes complicated, obviously, the new quarterly meetings won't be,
Do you want me to
yeah,
clarify?
because that's where it
Until
becomes,
the new meeting
where it-
dates are set
yeah,
on the 16th of May.
yeah,
So we'll have an
May.
April and May finance
Yeah.
meeting where we'll still have some of this money.
No, so you'll have the 42,000.
We'll have the 42,000.
But obviously
Okay.
it doesn't quite work without,
So this is the last one. Okay.
yeah, so that's where it gets confusing. But then obviously in May, then we become 4 times a year meetings, basically, quarterly
Okay. Thanks for the
meetings.
clarity.
Because we've got April and May, it just, yeah, doesn't quite work until that policy's gone in May. Okay, so Councillor L?
We have budgeted £42,000 to give out as grants this year,
No.
and the last year. We had 42,000 start.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Going against everything I've said. We've broken the policy over and over and over again this year, and we're going to have a fresh start to adhere to our policy moving on. We've done it for so many people, and I'm going to go against this completely in my motion as soon as this is done. But we've set that money aside, it's been budgeted for. It's our last meeting this year. There's some really good organisations here. I was going to say divvy it up between the 4, but I am happy to follow suit with Councillor Winter and Councillor Baygrove and just move forward to £1,000 each organisation and hope that would help them.
Councillor Peters?
That £3,000 that from that other event that wasn't used, can that not be added to this and then divided? Would that not? £3,000 from there?
18 hours in January.
Where is that now? Is
Where
it
is that?
7?
No, it's not.
It's sitting in the budget line for that, and it will go into general reserves at the end of the year.
I mean, it can be for your discussion. I'm just saying we have just spoken about not breaking our policy, and now we're talking about breaking our policy. So it's completely up to councillors here. But I mean, you can put it through, and if it's seconded, we can put it to a vote. But it's completely up to you.
Okay.
Would you like to put that?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you'd like that money to come back into?
if possible,
So
yeah.
you're proposing that. Can I get a seconder on that, please?
What, in bringing the 3,000 back into
this.
And adding it to what we've
to
got.
give us 9.3.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
if you start this,
Yeah.
where will it end?
Yeah.
I believe.
Sorry, that's just as an RFO point of view.
I've allowed
In the
it.
fact that you'll have underspends in the year, so if you have an underspend of 10 grand, what you...
just pick
sorry,
from it.
I'm speaking quite openly and I don't mean to, but
You could
I'm
pick
just
from it.
concerned that where that money was agreed as a budget line for that event, when that was agreed, and
Okay.
that's only
believe
my only comment from an RFO
Councillor
point of view.
Winter?
Because quite honestly, you could underspend on office supplies next year, and we could say, let's take £500 that's underspent from office supplies and put it to something else. That is then setting a precedent
Yeah.
for any underspend, as the RFO was just saying.
Okay. I agree. Councillor Wilson?
People know I'm quite creative. It's very clear. We've got a policy. Wherever we can, we should stick to it.
Okay.
But I don't know what the answer is, because
Can I?
There's not a
we should really not be talking about these 4 events, because it's not within our policy to talk about them tonight, so we shouldn't give them anything. And we're breaking our policy. We give them £1,000 each, or divide the 6,3 by 4. We're breaking our policy.
I don't know.
No, the
No.
policy is up to 1,000.
Up to a
So
thousand.
you could
yeah.
award each one 1,000, because that's the maximum you can give each of them, as per the current
Okay.
policy.
Smaller grant.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can give them 1,000. So that's not against it. So what I'd like to do, I think the most simple thing is to do is Councillor Greygrove has £1,000 for each, and I believe Councillor Winter's going to second that.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So can we get a vote on that, please? That's 4. Okay.
Did I not hear Councillor L suggest that it's divided by 4, the 6
No,
hours?
I said I would have said
So-
that, but following suit to Councillor Winter and Councillor Blagrove, I'm happy with 1,000. That would help us follow policy also.
Yeah, so I've done
That was 5.
5. And then anyone against? Anyone abstaining? Okay, thank you. So it's carried. So £1,000 for the others. Thank you very much. Right, and then moving forward, motions from councillors. There are none. No, there are. Sorry, Councillor L. A. I think this is really simple, and this will really help with tonight, as we said, with tonight's as well.
Well, that's why I just want to reiterate my motion and read it out as well. So I propose to amend the new grants and donations policy as shown in Appendix K to include, if applications do not coincide with the policy requirements, that the application will not make it to the committee meeting. It would save us time during the meeting,
Yes.
and it would save us the stress and the upset and the burden of having to go through these and say no to people, where inside what we really want to do is say yes, but if it's not coinciding with policy, it shouldn't be there. We shouldn't even have to talk about it.
We've also been through this with the RFO today, with our RFO today, and it will be in bold, underlined of what the requirements are, and I believe we're going to add some wording of.
We spoke about it will go. Your narration will go under 1 in relation to if the application are not meeting the criteria within the policy, it will not be presented to the Finance Committee for discussion. And then under 2.4, where we've got the figures for events related applications, I'm planning to put that sort of line in bold, and then to do with the other projects, maximum 1,000. And also underline must also provide a clear breakdown of intended use of funds, so that it's a lot more sort of out there rather than it's missed in the context.
I did want to ask though, if these policies come in that don't coincide with our, if these grants come in that don't coincide with our policy, will we then send out an email saying we do apologise, your grant doesn't coincide with our policy due to this is our policy, please feel free to apply it. So we have to respond in some way, I believe. Or do we just...
No, because if they break it in the first place, then they're just breaking it.
Yeah, so we don't reply.
I think we still reply. We should reply just to say,
I think
this is the reason, and then they've got the reason.
Or just say, don't have to give them a reason, just doesn't coincide with our policy. So at least we've replied to the public and not leave them waiting for a response.
If you make
the link to the website, say this is the policy.
Yeah.
If you're going to submit, please make sure you met the criteria.
Okay. And that is then up to them to read. Okay, that's fine. So, anyone else like to discuss Councillor Winter?
I'd like to second the motion and go to a vote, please.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Wilson?
I rather I like this. It's been a lot of hard work to get to this stage. What we're going to do about communicating it to residents and organisations.
Well, our new website.
Other councils send out social media things, advertise this front and centre, make a big splash about these are the ones that we've supported this year, please submit them in accordance with, because this is going to sound wrong, but I need to say it. It is the same, quite often, organisations that are applying for grants, because I do believe there are organisations out there that need support but don't apply, and we should be engaging with those. Is that the engagement and communication committee's role, or is it our role as this committee to get this policy out front and centre on all the social medias, in the newspaper, Bexhill News, to advertise it in advance of that first meeting, almost in accordance with doing something like this? We need to think about it to get it out there, because we keep changing it, and then people submit an application in accordance with what they've done before, and then it gets rejected, and it makes us look up.
I think it's, once we have our new website as well, it'll be there, and it should be a lot easier to find.
Just flagging it, we have to
it should be a lot
communicate.
easier to find, but point taken. You know, it's, as I said, with the new website, I believe it will be a lot easier to and then if you're applying for a grant, then realistically you should be able to have a look and see exactly what it is that you know, if you were doing it, or if I was doing it, I would be reading of what it
Well,
reads.
you get the form.
Yeah.
It'll say on the form.
So, can I have Councillor L's motion seconded by Councillor Winter? Could I have a vote on that, please? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Thank you very much. 10, correspondence and matters for information. Okay. Risk register. 2.
I'd just like to say something regarding the accounts, if I can.
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you. So what I would like to say is to anybody that's come to us for grants and maybe hasn't got them, they've gone through the disappointment, and I would just like to say sorry about that. You know, I sit here continually giving my reasons and our reasons, and it's not an easy thing to do. We all, you know, want it to be different. And just to say that we actually have got that wrong in places, which is why the whole policy has been rewritten, and this policy is correct. This policy will serve the council and the people coming to us for grants much better. So, you know, it's taken us a little while to get there, but we are there now, and it'll be made clear on our website when it's built. Thank you.
Thank you. The policy is right, but there may still be changes in the future on it, but I think it's a lot better than what we've had previously.
Agree.
So, yeah, thank you. Okay, so 11 is risk register to consider any new risk for future mitigation.
I think that's the risk to us as councillors that we've already spoken about.
Okay.
I don't know whether we can...
Would you like to discuss that here though, or would it be better to bring that to full council?
I'm quite happy for it to go to full council, but can we decide now for a motion to be raised? Because I've got enough emails to send to them. Can we just make a note now, rather than someone having to raise it? Because we should discuss that.
But if you're going to advise me of what's going to go in the risk register, it will go to full council as that document anyway.
So we can put it on there, and then it's up to full council to...
I was going to say, can the council members that have asked for adjustments to the risk register, can you email me exactly what wording you're looking for in that?
Yeah.
It will be added in as an amendment, and that policy will go to full council to be ratified.
Okay.
So that's down to the councillors to read that policy and see what's in there.
Okay.
Okay, so we happy with that? I think that's the... Yeah. Can I move on to 12? Okay, 12 is overview of annual internal control tasks for council. I'm not going to read them out, they're there. And then 13 is date of next meeting, Wednesday the 8th of April 2020.
Sorry, before you bang the hammer. In February, I've often thought this, why do we have to gain 3 quotes for insurance policy renewal, but we don't necessarily obtain quotes for other variable contracts like gas and electricity? Is there a reason? But it doesn't say that on here, it just says insurance in February.
I don't know why it's not listed. I can't answer that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I believe we do, yeah, we do. I know we've had
Okay.
gas and electric, yeah. Okay, so date of next meeting, Wednesday the 8th of April 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you.